What's up, guys? We're live, episode 2 of the year, season 7. Can you believe 7th year we're at this? Yeah. Anyways, guys, the topic that I have, unless the questions override it, is sort of maintaining the attack when you go top side control armbar. So, you know, depends obviously on how the training partner is escaping. So that could be the topic, unless, again, you know, if you have live questions, they take priority. So start asking away. So let's start to look at this. I'm going to keep looking at Aaliyah once. So you stay this way. So, guys, when you go top side control armbar, right? As I'm going into this, right? There's two questions. Do I have only shin in, or do I have the leg over? Usually, when you first enter, it's just the shin. I would not switch unless he locks up. So if Craig locks up as a defense, then I would bring the other leg over. But if he basically kind of leaves that arm free, so it depends how he defends. If he's going into hitchhiker escape, what I'm going to do is continue the attack on the arm. So as he's coming up, he's going to go into a very deep omoplata. So that's sort of the response one. So obviously, if he we already have a question. All right, let me at least do the other part. So if he locks up, it's a different answer. But usually if people if they lock up, they basically hope they can hold out. If they kind of keep their arm loose, they're actually trying to escape. And if they do escape, a lot of times they wind up on the bottom. The other one is if he, again, and the answer is the same whether you have the shin in or both feet. If he does the reverse hitchhiker where he tries to pull in and pull his elbow down, what I'm going to do is grab the knee, weave the legs in, and first thing is obviously attacking knee bar. So again, you have two choices. Depends, obviously there's some nuances depending, you know, sometimes the guy fakes one thing and then goes into the other, but basically that is it. If he tries to do sort of pull his elbow in and move his upper body away, I go into the legs because the legs are closer. The other way I stay on the arm. What's the question?
Well, we have a lot of good mornings. MJ, Ensberg, Raji, JC.
What's up, guys?
They're all saying good morning. Ensberg said thank you for the rash guard.
Nice.
It's great. Gilbert Lopez had a question. Fox, can you go over a belly down armbar escape?
Yeah. That's... Do you... Yeah.
Craig is questioning if he could do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What's the best way? By the way, Engsberg, are we ever going to meet you in person? You ever going to stop by New Jersey or join one of our camps? That's my question to you. But Gilbert, you too, because you've been a steady participant as well. MJ has been to 2 camps at least. Well, more than that, and plus 1 attempted. Belly armbar. I don't do a whole lot of belly down arm bars. Let me see if are you talking about, so I'm going to do it to you. You're on your knees. So I drag. Are you talking about defense?
Yeah.
This is what you're talking about?
I would assume, yeah.
I don't stay belly down because it's hard for me to control if I'm here, if he defends his arm, he's going to actually now go after you. So I don't stay here. I actually rotate all the way through. Is this sort of the question that you have?
I will wait for his response. In the meantime, we do have a question from Ensberg.
Yeah.
What are your preferred attacks from mount when you manage to get a gift wrap grip?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, so you're down. So if I mount it and I manage to get this, yeah, this is for sure, I'm going to take his back. So I will actually pressure. So guys, notice how I'm attacking a multiple fronts. So I want the guy to feel the pressure, not to feel comfortable, or not to basically have, literally, this is the only thing he's got to worry about. He's got to worry about a lot of things. So when I get the pressure down, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to slide in. usually I will try to have my hand inside. Once I get the gift wrap, it's pretty easy to get my hand inside. From here, I will actually turn him and go into the modified back. This is such a high percentage that I know a lot of times, especially with NoGi, when you attack from the mount, a lot of times the guys are so good at kind of cutting the angles that you leave a small opening, they're going to escape. So again, if I get the mount and I manage to get the gift wrap from here, yeah, notice what I'm doing is once I'm here, I start to open my knees. I want him to feel the pressure, and I want to have good base, and I'm going to slide up high. From here, it's going to be very difficult for the guy. Now he feels like he can turn to me, but I can control that with the gift wrap to a large extent, and I can just get behind him. This is such a strong attacking position. Literally, once I lock it, nobody escapes. I don't know if you guys saw post. So Fighters Advice on Instagram, they have a pretty big following. So we shot I think like a 5-minute video. They're cutting it into pieces, and they posted the first one yesterday, kind of triangle, and I posted the pictures of the guys that I always pick the biggest guy in the room, and like in Germany or Holland, you always get like guys that are. My uke for last week was JJ. JJ's 260, I'm 160, so yeah, it should illustrate the point, but these guys make him look small. My guess is 350 plus, but once I lock it up, they don't escape. It's the same thing when I get that modified back take. Once I cross my feet, they don't escape. It's almost bulletproof. Almost. So that's what I would do is, again, yeah, you can have an armbar, but they know that if I basically go for an armbar, so from here, if I'm here, if I'm square, I can go for an armbar too, right? This armbar. That I might also go. Depends kind of what he's giving you. If you feel like that the guy is going to give you the armbar, that's another possibility. I slide in. But there's right here in this transition, this part, this is where there's the greatest risk. If he turns to you right now and roll, yeah, you might kind of lose it. In which case, I'm going to try to hunt for his back. But there's literally a split second of risk. So that's a viable choice, and I do it sometimes. Again, especially if I can control the far side arm, I will go for an armbar because now that risk is no longer there. This is very strong as well. But if I feel I control the far side arm, if he kind of keeps that far side arm, yeah, he's digging in. What I would do slide up high. I can control him. If he wants to turn to me, the gift wrap controls his. I'm not saying that he cannot do it, but he's going to do it very slow. As he's coming in, what I'm going to do is get behind him and now hunt for that back triangle, which is an extremely, extremely, extremely strong finish.
We had a question, would you do the arm triangle from the gift wrap as well?
Maybe. But then the problem is, head over here, please. So I have this, right? The problem is, I could do this as well. Again, it depends how he's responding. So if I have a gift wrap, if he starts to turn sideways in response, yeah, I would not go. I would raise your elbow like up high. So as I'm going for, if he raises his elbow, he might escape. Okay? So if he stays flat, yes, I can, but if he starts to turn really far away, so my head got there a little bit too late. So it depends, yes, that's another possibility. Again, a lot of times from the mount, this is why it's such a strong position. You have a variety of attacks. You kind of need to feel what is your opponent giving you, and what is his likely way of escaping. He's going to give you, especially if you've been training for a long time, you kind of get an idea. If I was in Craig's shoes on the bottom, I'm basically giving you the submission that I'm most comfortable escaping. So obviously, if he's giving you that submission that he's most comfortable escaping, you probably should want to choose something else. You don't want to have him give you the choice, because then, again, you start to react. Even though you're in a dominant position, you're reacting to him. So he's gotten, you might be 3 steps ahead of him, but he just got a half a step to a step back because he's kind of steering you into a certain way to respond.
Okay. We do have a few other follow-up questions. We'll
Did Gilbert ever come back with the...
Yes, he did.
Was that the answer?
So it was from the arm drag, but his partner does not drop to their side. He just stays.
No. Don't. It's either an arm break or they escape. It's such a.
How do you escape it? That's his question. When they stay up like that.
Oh, okay. Do you don't understand what he's saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you arm drag this way?
Yeah.
We came over here.
Yep.
Start to turn away. He has no choice. He has no choice. So if he stays, I can pull. He needs to turn. He needs to turn to his hip. Let's do it again. So do you understand? This is why I turn to my hip. Because, again, if he stays where he is, I'm going to turn my arm in a way that he can continue attacking me, because I'm making him turn to the hip. So if he does not turn to the hip, he loses that braking pressure on the elbow, because my elbow is now sideways. He needs to get on his hip. If he stays where he is, turn your arm, so turn your shoulder and pull. Now, let's go a step further. What happens if he turns to the hip? This is why I'm telling you, if you're actually doing that arm bar, you need to turn to your hip, because then you stay on the attack. So I make him turn to the hip. Now I'm going to try to get on him. And from here, I want to pressure his legs. So the braking for him, it becomes a little bit more complicated. It's no longer, he needs to basically, he needs to arch and sort of also control the angle. So now he has to do 2 things while I'm compressing his hips. So from here, I should be able to pull my elbow just enough to escape it. Let's do it one more time. But again, understand that if the guy that's attacking your arm knows what he's doing, he will turn to his hip. If he doesn't, it's an easy escape. Basically, as he's going for it, I turn away, and now just pull. He loses the attack. If he stays where he is, belly down, that's a problem. That's a rudimentary arm bar that's not very good. A lot of times, if you see that in competition where the guy taps, it's usually a scream tap, because as he's trying to escape, the guy just popped into it. But if he loses that angle, there's nothing. So he needs to follow through. He needs to get into the belly down. He needs to go on his hip. And then I have to deal with that. That's the next step. That's harder to deal with, by the way. So if you're the guy doing the arm bar, make sure you continue to turn to the hip, so at least you're ahead of the guy rather than him being ahead of you or chasing the elbow. So let's do it one more time, Craig. Keep your left leg in the middle. Yeah, so drag. Yeah, so you can see, slow down for a second. You can see already, go back. So as he's coming in, I'm already turning my hand and looking away. So the angle for the break is no longer there. So if he stays, I just pull. The angle for break is no longer there. But if he drops to his hip, he still maintains the angle. What I'm gonna do is now try to go north-south and keep weight on his hip. So basically the only thing, the elbow is not quite lined up to his torso. So even if he arches, the break is not gonna be quite there, right? But if he arches and changes the angle, there's a break. So I need to make sure that I try to get my elbow out before that happens. But remember, in this position, this is actually a fairly strong position. He needs to do 2 things, and most people can only do 1 thing. Now, some people can't do either that, He needs to do two things. And we're out of time already? Man, time flies when you're having fun. Guys, get the app. We're coming out with version 2.0. I need to think about the organization. If you have any comments on that, please let me know, because we have sort of, we will retain the feature, which is one of the strongest points, is where you basically curate the techniques that you're working on. So basically you have your favorites and you have your game. Of course, you could always search by topic, by whatever you're looking for. And then we have sort of the video of the week, which we curate, but again, and then we have the live portion. So we're gonna put those probably at the top, and your game, so as you scroll in the home screen. So, but there's gonna be some enhancements. So I hope I'll see you on the app as well. I'll see you in a couple minutes.